Chronic diseases such as heart disease, cancer, and diabetes are the leading causes of death and disability in the United States. Chronic diseases account for 70% of all deaths in the U.S., which is 1.7 million each year. These diseases also cause major limitations in daily living for almost 1 out of 10 Americans, or about 25 million people. Although chronic diseases are among the most common and costly health problems, they are also among the most preventable. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the U.S. for both men and women. It is also the leading cause of death worldwide. Over 60 million Americans have some form of heart disease in the United States. Approximately 2,600 people die every day from heart disease. Heart disease consists of many diseases of the heart. The most common is coronary artery disease, which is caused by a hardening and narrowing of the blood vessels, causing the heart to not get enough blood. If the heart does not get enough blood, it can lead to a heart attack and even heart failure. The best way to reduce your chances of getting heart disease is by not smoking, reducing your cholesterol intake, controlling high blood pressure, maintaining a healthy weight, and exercising. A heart attack happens when the heart does not get enough blood for 20 minutes or more because of a blocked artery. Some signs of a heart attack include chest pain or discomfort, pain and discomfort in the upper parts of your body, shortness of breath, loss of sweating, a really fast or irregular heartbeat, and nausea. Heart disease tends to run in families, so if your parents or grandparents have it, then you are more likely to get it in your lifetime. Pharmacogenomics is prescribing the right drug at the right dose at the right time for individual patients. Depending on what risk factors you're predisposed to having because of your genes, there are drugs to help you control these gene expressions. Some drugs that help to maintain some of these risk factors include Lipitor, which controls your cholesterol levels, Lipressor, which helps to control high blood pressure, and Plavix, which helps to prevent harmful clots in the blood vessels. If you avoid these risk factors, your chances of acquiring heart disease is greatly reduced. It is important to note, however, that if you do get heart disease, there are medications to help you recover and live a normal life.
Diabetes is widely recognized as one of the leading causes of death and disability in the U.S. and is currently ranked as the 6th leading cause of death. An estimated 23.6 million people in the U.S. have diabetes, and each year about 1.6 million people aged 20 or older are newly diagnosed. Diabetes is associated with long-term complications that affect almost every part of the body, and often leads to blindness, heart and blood vessel disease, stroke, kidney failure, amputations, and nerve damage. Type 2 diabetes is the most common form of diabetes, affecting 90 to 95% of all cases. Type 2 diabetes is a disease in which the pancreas is usually producing enough insulin, but the insulin secreted is either not enough or the body is unable to recognize the insulin and use it properly. Insulin is a hormone that transports glucose into the cells. When there is not enough insulin, glucose can't get into the body's cells and glucose builds up in the blood. This is a problem because cells use glucose as a source of energy, and without it, the body's cells are not able to function properly. Type 1 diabetes is the less common form and is an autoimmune disease in which the body's own immune system destroys the insulin-producing cells of the pancreas called beta cells. This destruction of beta cells results in a deficiency of insulin, which causes high blood glucose levels. Those at highest risk for developing diabetes are those who are obese or overweight and people with family members who have type 2 diabetes. Older people are also more susceptible to developing the disease since aging makes the body less tolerant of sugars. The cause of diabetes is not fully understood but is believed to be caused by multiple factors and not a single problem. Susceptibility to the condition is usually inherited, and it has been identified that an environmental trigger plays a role in causing the disease. But the exact nature of how it's inherited or the identity of a single genetic factor is not known. Certain diabetes risk factors like age, family history, and ethnicity cannot be changed. However, changing other risk factors by eating healthy diet and increased physical activity may help prevent type 2 diabetes. There is not one standard diet that will prevent a delay of diabetes because every person has a different genetic makeup, so different foods will have different influences depending on the person's DNA. This is why personalized nutrition is important. Personalized nutrition has to do with a combination of both nutrigenetics and nutrigenomics. Nutrigenetics studies genes that are chronically activated during the disease state, and are sensitive to dietary intervention. Nutrigenomics studies the functional interaction of food and its components with the human genome. Because nutrition can have major influences on genetic expression and metabolic pathways. This means that the food you eat can influence DNA, and DNA can influence the body's reaction to certain foods. A person's genetic makeup and its reaction with the environment is what determines whether the person is susceptible to diabetes. Studies have shown that exercise and a healthy diet can prevent the development of type 2 diabetes in people with impaired glucose tolerance, which is a condition that often develops prior to full-blown type 2 diabetes. The way foods react with a person's DNA and the way DNA reacts to food can be factors that increase susceptibility to the development of diabetes. So it is very important that you eat a nutritious, personalized diet and avoid unhealthy weight gain.